Hey, it's Hiroko. It's Facebook Live time. This is unscripted Facebook Live with Kevin Ryan Young and Hiroko Ideguchi. The title is It's Not Working, Let's Fix It. And today's theme is about letting things go. It is really a difficult topic sometimes. So I'm going to invite Kevin and let's get this started. All right, I'm going to invite Kevin now. This is my first time to do it, so let's see how it goes. Invite. All right, Kevin, join me.
Hey,
Hey!
how are you?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Headphone. Oh, hold on a second. This is going to be difficult. I can't hear you because I'm actually having a mic. So now can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, perfect. I'm going to just get rid of this microphone then.
Okay.
All right. So you're outside.
I am in my new favorite spot. I decided I didn't want to do this from my office, so I came out. I'm in Dumbo, where I
Nice.
seem to be spending quite a bit of time.
Okay, cool.
But it's my happy place, so here I am.
All right. It's nice that you have like nature right behind you. I'm actually right in front of my
I love that wall.
wall.
So just a funny story, I guess, for those of you that don't know.
Okay.
We've talked about doing this for a while.
Yeah.
And sort of the way this all started is because of that blue wall.
What? Why?
You did a post, and I saw that blue wall, and I
Yeah.
fell in love with it. And I sent you a text afterward and said, I love that blue wall. Where did you get it? How did you do it? And it was it for me. So I love that wall. I love the color.
Thanks. It was actually like a light pink and it did not project the color at all. And I went to Home Depot and then you can actually mix your color, like you can ask them to mix your color that you like. And that's what I did. And the afternoon I just paint the wall. It's not didn't do anything fancy, like there looks like a fancy background paper wall and stuff like that, wallpaper and stuff like that. I didn't do that. I actually painted that evening. If I actually angle this camera a little bit, you can see the edges, so I can't do that. It's not like the whole wall, it's just
So
part of the wall is painted.
see how easy it was to fix it?
It's perfect. It was just, you know, painting the wall, and if you think of it, it's such a process, right? You have to mask the edges and you have to prime the wall and all that kind of stuff. And then you can take hours and hours if you want to do it perfectly, right? But I'm like, nah, I'm gonna just do it in 20 minutes, and I just did it, not thinking about anything, because if I actually start thinking about perfection, I'll never get this thing done. You know what I mean?
And isn't
Yeah.
that a problem that a lot of people have?
Yeah.
They're waiting for perfection before they get started on anything.
Exactly. So I decided I'm gonna do it, and just again we're actually talking about letting things go, right? So perfectionist thinking, perfection, like, oh, I want to wait until everything is gonna be perfect, or if probably this color would not be perfect, but if I start thinking about, okay, which color should it be, and thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it, I will never get this wall done, right? So I decided I'm gonna just pick the okay color, like this looks all right, and I just picked the color and just did it.
Great. And when you get tired of it, you can get a new color.
Exactly. So that's it, right?
Yeah.
So
And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about.
Oh, sorry. Welcome, Karen. Thank you, Karen, for joining us. Can you see Kevin, like on the screen, who's coming?
A little bit, because it's really small on this end.
Okay. All right.
But I can. Joe, Sue, hello. Great
All
to
right.
see you here.
Okay, great.
So, do you want to sort of introduce yourself and
All right.
Unless you've already done that before I got
No,
here.
I didn't.
Okay.
So, hi everyone. My name is Hiroko. I do coaching for single women who's a professional single women who would like to look for love of their lives without compromising their career and without all those relationship fluff out there. And you can find love fast with me. So that's what I do. I'm a dating and relationship coach.
Great. And I'm Kevin Ryan Young, and I am a life coach. The name of my company is SunBridge Coaching, and I work with parent entrepreneurs. And I help them find the harmony between their work passion and their family home passion, and make sure they're in alignment so they have more successes quicker and can create a bigger impact on their community. So one of the reasons that we decided to join forces here is because as we talked, we realized that we were basically saying the same thing to our clients, even though her clients are single women, my clients are parents. They all have the same problem that we solve.
Mm.
Um, and one of the biggest things that we realized is that there's this tendency to hold on to things when you should just let them go. And once you let them go, you make space for something new to come in. So that's kind of how this whole thing got started. If you have any questions during this, just type them in and one of us will be able to see it and we'll try and answer it. Do you have anything to add?
No, so we started talking about what we can do together, right? And like Kevin was saying that I work with single women, Kevin works with family. The audience is different, but the problem is the same. And the solution is very, very similar. And I thought that we're gonna let's just talk about this because this is very interesting. We start talking about it and it's just, this is our passion, right? So we start talking about it and then I thought, hey, this is something that everybody can actually listen into and everybody can actually learn from it. So I just want to welcome Olga. Hello, Olga. Thank you for coming. So let's talk about letting things go. I actually had a little bit of Facebook Live today, right? Like right before in the morning from Lincoln Center about letting things go. And I wanted to talk about the opera, right? And lots of people don't go to the opera because they have this like belief or they think that opera is just so like a stuck up or oh that's just too expensive or right, but it's those kind of belief is limiting their experience. And
Mm-hmm.
opera itself is not, if you don't mind going, sitting at the back and it's like the ticket could be like $30 or $40 or something instead of 150 or $300, you can actually experience the opera. And it's, if you let go of that, some tiny bit of belief that, oh, opera is for stuck up people or someone who's rich and blah blah, it's really not. And you can experience something great like the opera, like in Metropolitan Opera Theater, which is beautiful, and you can just enjoy the atmosphere. So I just wanted to say something about that. If you let go of something and you can experience something great. And so I just did that Facebook Live this morning.
Great. So I am, whoa, okay. Things are popping up over here, sorry. um, yeah, it's about, limiting beliefs. We all have them. We all need to let go of them.
Mm-hmm.
And there is that thing about, if you don't already think you know about something and you're just experiencing it for the first time,
Right.
um, something's going to happen. And it's usually going to be something's going to happen one way or the other, good or
Mm-hmm.
bad, but it's not going to kill you. So I think between limiting beliefs and just holding on to things because they're safe, or trying something new. One of the things that I've been doing this month is every day this month, I've been calling it a month of first for me for October. And every day this month, I've done something I've never done before.
Right.
And it's been an amazing thing because there are some things that I've planned to do, and then there's some things that just happen. And then I realize that I have options. So I can go back and do it the way I used to if I wanted to, or I can try something new, or this other way that I've just learned.
Right.
So there's a learning thing that happens when you let something go. There's an opening when you let something go.
So what was that? What was the the takeaway from one of the new things that you experienced this month? What was
you
that
can you can
biggest lesson?
get the same result, but do it a different way. So you can have a goal, and maybe this happens a lot. You go after a goal, something goes wrong. Well, you don't have to stop. You can just go at it from a different way and still achieve the goal.
Right.
So, I was doing simple things like instead of turning on this corner to walk home, I would turn on this corner. I got to see something new, and I still got to where I was going.
Right.
Right. So, we have that thing of like, nope, I have to do it this way because it's the way that works.
Right.
And
so,
that's not the.
Yes, stuck with this the one way, my way of doing things. That this is the right way of doing things.
Correct. And so for me, it's been a very interesting time. It's definitely been a growth period for me. And it's something I can continue doing because it's also fun.
Right.
It's like today I'm just going to write with my left hand. And there were sometimes it was as simple as that. Sometimes
you're going to do what with the left hand? What?
I'm going to write with my left hand today.
That's crazy.
Sorry about hopefully all the noise is not interfering up there.
I don't hear any.
Okay.
I just want to say hi, Sue. Thank you for coming. And Cassandra, I saw you. Thank you for coming. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So like Sue was talking about the opera. There are inexpensive ways to do things. You don't always have to go for what's considered the best.
Right.
If you're going to the theater, just because you're sitting in the orchestra and paying all this money, you could be sitting on the far side and have a better seat in the center up in the balcony. So it's the same thing about being flexible. And oh boy, my battery is low. What happened here?
Uh-oh. Don't go away.
Fix that.
Don't go
I'm
away.
not going to go anywhere. So I guess if anybody has any questions or problems that they're dealing with, we would really like to help you with that. One of the things that we talked about before was about relationships. And how sometimes you choose a relationship just because it's easy. You choose a job just because it's easy. And sometimes you just have to say, that's not serving me anymore, and move on.
Right.
And then there's the fear. That's where the fear comes in of, well, now I move on and I don't have it.
Right. So you would just hang on to it, even though you're not happy with it.
Correct. And as we know, that's not really good. If you as long as you hang on to it, nothing new is going to come in. So we have to, sorry, I'm trying to boot this up just to make sure I don't go away.
Okay.
So you've got to, I don't know what I was saying.
You were talking about like holding on to the job that you don't like or a relationship that's you're not happy with.
Right.
Because you're so scared of letting things go and then it's going to go away and it's almost like you don't know what's going to happen next, right? You don't know what's going to happen next, but nobody knows what's going to happen next in the future, right? But there's this like need to know what's going to happen or need to know you have control over something that you just can't control, right?
Yep.
And oh yeah, like if you break up with someone, you might feel like when it's gonna be the next love comes. Well, I don't know, I'm gonna be lonely, right? That's a fear. That's something like you're scared of that, being alone. But you gotta know that you gotta ask yourself, are you really happy with this? And of course, it's a risk that it might not come really like fast, or it might not come in, you know, short period of time, short time than you expected. But are you gonna be happy? And you have to say no, then you have to let it go. You have to let it go. Yeah, it's, I'm actually saying this like this, oh, such an easy thing, it's so simple. But I know it's not easy sometimes, right? You just have to. But this is something that we talked about, Kevin, that it's about control, and it's about being, it's about choosing for yourself, instead of something's going to happen to you and then you have to react to it. Instead of that, we proactively do something. We do something proactively, so that we are making the decisions, and then we are making the life that we want, instead of life is going to happen to you and then you're reacting to it.
Right. So Sue's asking, do you recommend practicing with little things first or jumping off the high diving board?
Interesting. Wait, what do you mean by little things? I would say
So
it
you could do it.
depends.
It
It
depends. It
depends,
really
right?
does.
Because sometimes you just have to say, yeah, fuck it, and just rip that, band-aid off. Of course, it's gonna hurt, but
But then
if
it's
you're
done.
ready, just do that.
Right.
I don't know.
So I guess the answer is it's really both. If you keep practicing the little things, like that's what I was doing each day this month, doing something new. So if you keep practicing the little things, when the big things come along, it's easier. So I would say definitely start practicing so that you're ready for when the big ones come along. To start with the big, that's going to take a lot of courage. And if you have
That's
that
true.
much courage, go ahead and do it.
I think it really depends on what it is, because just if you're sick of something and then you just want to let go and you're scared, it might take time to get to that point that you really jump off the diving board, but you would do it, I think, if you're really, really ready. But to get there, maybe it takes time, I
Yeah.
think, So it helps if you actually talk to someone about it, and they can do it together, or you have support of when you're doing something scary and you have to be courageous and you know that, but you're not sure how to do it, then maybe you can just ask for support from your friends that you trust. That could be a really good idea, I think.
Yeah.
You
And
know, sometimes
sometimes,
sometimes you need hand holding. We're adults, yeah, but we sometimes need some type of cuddling and then hand holding sometimes, just to
right.
do it, because it's just too big or something.
So, how do you know if you're ready to take the step? You just know. You know where you are isn't right, and you
Yeah,
know where you think the next step will lead you is going to be closer to what it is that you actually want. Um, so if that's a job, yes, it's very hard to leave a job,
hmm
but if you know that leaving it is going to get you closer to what you really want, then it's just the step. And the
right.
job was the step. And then, yes, take that jump.
That's really interesting, because you approach it in a way that you actually see the positive and then go for it, right? When I actually left my job, it was half and half. I actually did both. I was thinking about, okay, I have more possibility outside of my work, right? That's positive. But at the same time, what I did was I thought about 10 years from today, or the 5 years from today, 10 years from today, and 20 years from today. Would I be happy if I stay here? So if I'm not, if I don't think I actually would be happy 5 years, 10 years, 20 years later at this place, then I have to do something right now. I have to do it today or really, really soon. So I did both, like see the possibility and see the negative side of if I stay the same, what's going to happen in 5, 10, 20 years later. Maybe that's
Right.
my personality. I have to see the negative part of it too, because I'm not. Sometimes I can't just jump because I see the possibility. I have to see the negative too. So that could be a little helpful to see what's gonna happen if you hang on to this thing now, and what's gonna happen 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and 20 years from now, if you live the same, if you have the same thing and holding on to it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And Karen's asking, what if you jump and then regret it?
Do you think you would regret it?
So there are people, some people are just ruled by fear. Some people
True.
want to, and I'm not judging, I'm just putting this out there. Some people want to stay comfortable. They want to remain where they are. They know what that's like, and that's it. Some people just never want to take a chance, and that's fine. But if you feel like something's not right, then you have nothing to lose. And if you jump, you're not going to regret it. You're going to be somewhere else. So it might be a matter of just cutting something off so you can't go back there, and the only place you can go is forward. So, Karen, I know we've talked about moving to Europe. If you buy a ticket and you go, it's done. Whatever happens after that, whether you stay, whether you come back, you've had the experience, it's changed you, you're moving closer to something. And I think that's really what we're talking about when we say let it go. We're talking about letting go the stuff that's keeping you from moving, that's keeping you from having what you want, that's keeping you from growing. Sometimes it's fears, sometimes it's something physical, sometimes it's something emotional, but sometimes it's a person. And you kind of have to, it's a leap of faith, and knowing that something is going, whatever happens is going to lead to something better than what you have at this time.
Like, would I regret it if I jump really big? You might. I would say you might, but you were courageous to do something huge, and that's rewarding enough, I think. You were so scared before, and you did something outrageous and jump off the diving board, and you did it. Maybe you're not graciously, jump into the pool or anything like that, but you did it, right? And that courage took guts, and you did it, and you will be proud of yourself, and the result might be something that you never expected, something that you didn't expect, and you might feel it was a failure, but I guess in that case you just have to see what you were saying, Kevin, that you did it, and that's rewarding enough. That's a reward. That's a success. because you step forward instead of stay
Right.
in the same place and being safe, and you didn't do anything, stay in the same place, you didn't do anything, but instead of, even though you failed, you did something you never thought you could do, you did it. So you're grown already, and that's new. That's something
Yeah.
about, right, like, I really don't like to say something about like, oh, stepping out of your comfort zone, and I just don't like that phrase at all. But
So I can sort of tell, I'm going to two very quick stories about something like that. One failed, one didn't, luckily. So when I was younger, I went to visit my cousins at camp, and this was sort of a family day, and we were swimming. And in order to go in the deeper end of the pool, there was a little test. So I was up for it. It said, great. I don't swim. So I went running, I jumped into the water, and immediately sunk to the bottom and started flapping around, and someone had to come get me out.
oh my god.
So I've learned not to do that. I've learned not to do that. And it just meant I'm going to go swim in the other end. It was a bit of a time. I mean, it was the lifeguards coming in. It was pull sticks. It was a lot.
Right.
Another one that went much better. I don't know if any of you have experienced the Tony Robbins event, specifically UPW. And that's the one where you walk across
I did that.
a bed up. You did that,
I
okay?
actually did that.
So you know what that feeling is. You are looking at these burning coals and you're expected to walk across them, okay? You hear about that, you think you're crazy. You get ready, you prepare for it, and you actually get across this bed of coals,
Burning coal.
perfectly fine. And when you're done, you feel amazing. You're screaming, yelling, jumping around. You could do anything because you've done it. So those are sort of the different, something goes wrong, then you might know, I'm not going to do this again. Something goes right, then you know, I can do this, which means I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do that. And it just keeps building. So, Karen, I wouldn't worry about it being a mistake. If you think about what do you have to lose? Where you are,
Right.
is it so great? Where you could go, isn't that much better? So that's kind of what a terrible mistake, it's never really a mistake.
Right. I'm going to say something not coach thing to say, but Karen, you just do it. And when you regret it, just call me or something and say like, hey, Hiroko, I regret this thing. It's like, oh, all right. So I'll listen to whatever you need to say. Like, you're wrong or whatever. But, just if you do, like, you really do it, I think you're gonna, I don't think you're gonna regret it though. I really don't think so because you did it. That's the thing, right? Like when you think about stuff, like lots of things, like, right? What if it goes wrong, or it's about control? Like you can't let go of the control of what happens when something goes wrong, or if I was wrong, or my decision was wrong. And if you hold on to it, if you don't do it, you can't go forward anywhere. By doing it is the only way. So this is the example, right? I'm doing Facebook Live right now with you and in front of lots of people. I would never thought that I could do this because I was invisible for a long, long time. And I was really comfortable being invisible. And being invisible is very, it's comforting, really, because nobody's gonna point you, or nobody's gonna notice you, and I can do whatever I want, or, but once you're out there, you're showing your flaw, you're showing your opinions, you're sharing your opinions or what you think about stuff. That's very revealing, and that's scary. And I'm in front of the camera with this flaw, like I'm not a model, right? Everybody actually think that, like, oh, I'm not a model, so I shouldn't be in front of the camera and then broadcasting whatever I have to say. But but I actually let go of that. But by doing it, I actually got, um, it was like this. Instead of preparing to go over to the other side, I just did it. I just pushed, go live and start doing it. You can't go back. And of course, it was horrible at the first time, but it's because I did it. I felt good instead of thinking about, oh, what should I do? Maybe I shouldn't have done that, or I should have said it perfectly, or I have to actually have topic in mind, and if I have to do something, I have to do the broadcasting just like any other entrepreneurs, and maybe, you know, I have to have a skill first, something like that, right? But it's because I did it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm comfortable. I'm actually doing more, and I'm growing, I think. Even though this what I'm saying is not perfect either right now, but well, that's not the point really. I just let go. I let go of the control of what other people's gonna think.
Mm-hmm.
I just let go of that. Like, do probably I wanted some, like this control, like a thinking of like, oh, somebody's gonna say something negative about me, or they're gonna criticize me, or things like that. And that's scary, but once you let go of that, because I want to share something with people, and it was a good experience. The first time I actually pressed the button and said go live, that was really good. So didn't regret that. I think once you start doing it, you will not regret whatever you do. I really don't think so.
I would agree. And I just two things for Sue and Karen. Karen, I would suggest for you, you're not going to jump. You're not going to go off the diving board, but just try little things and start practicing. One of the things I would recommend you try is do a Facebook Live. And since I know you, I can be a little more specific. Do a Facebook Live with you talking about one of your favorite pieces of art or one of your favorite books. I have a feeling we wouldn't be able to turn you wouldn't turn the camera off. You would just keep going. So try that. It's easy. It's something you like. It's a little bit of a
I agree.
challenge doing it live, but give
Yeah.
it a shot. And
Yeah, I
Sue,
agree with that. Something that you really
yeah,
comfortable talking about it all the time. You just do it. Like, you just can't just monologue whatever you like talking about.
yeah. And for Sue, if you feel you're ready just to jump and it's comfortable and you can do it, then take the big jump. No need to do the testing. Just do it. Okay. I just we were talking about what one of my favorite quotes is, and I'm going to try and get this right. It's Aaron Hansen, and it is, "What if I fall? But oh my dear, what if you fly?" I think I got that right. Because we spend so much time thinking of failing when we do something new, and not enough time thinking about the success of doing something new.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to put out the same amount of energy, so think about the successes instead of the failures, because that at least makes you feel better, right?
It's interesting you said that. Like, how would you imagine success if you have never succeeded before in your life? Because, failure, when you imagine failure, it's really easy to think about failure, right? Like, oh, because we fail more than you succeed, I think. So how would you imagine how it's going to be when you succeed?
You imagine the goal, you imagine living in the goal, whatever the end is, having exactly what you want. Um, you know, when the Wright brothers were working on their first plane,
Mm-hmm.
yes, they saw the things that could go wrong, but they also kept their eye on this thing is going to fly. We're going to fail. This doesn't work. Okay, so we know that's not going to do it. Let's try this. This is going to fly. And that's what they focused on. They focused on achieving the goal of getting this machine up in the air. Nobody did it before. Nobody had a
True.
clue what that was going to look like,
Yeah.
how it was going to work, but that's what they focused on. What if I
Yeah, I think
fly?
right. They didn't have any examples before. But
No,
we
nothing.
actually, yeah, we actually have lots of examples of success. Even though that's not our success, but we kind of imagine how that looks like because there are so many success. Like for example, like a business. There's so many millionaires, billionaires out there, and you can see how that looks like. We don't know how that feels like though, but we can reference to that image. And in my case, we can reference to the happy couple, happy marriage, happy relationship. What does it look like? It's really difficult to imagine that if your parents were divorced and then they were fighting when you were, when you were a child. Can't imagine how that like happy relationship looks like. It's hard. Or you never had a good relationship in the past and it's ended badly, then how can you imagine how this like happiness looks like or happiness feels like? But you actually have to find these reference outside of
Hmm.
you. There are happy couples and happy marriage, and you kind of have to look for that and talk to them, or just and see how that looks like first, and then reference back. Okay, so that's how it looks like. Then what does it does my happiness look like? And you can actually start feeling it. So
Right.
you can start collecting other evidences outside of yourself, and that you can start, I think.
So it's like making a collage. You take a little bit of this, you take a little bit of
Yeah.
that from something, and you put it
Right.
all together and you
Yeah.
create your success.
Yeah.
Um,
Because it's everybody heard this right before. All the success are unique, and it's not anything like your success is not like somebody else's success. My success doesn't look like your success, Kevin. So it's not gonna be the same, but
right.
it's a reference example. That's how it
Hmm.
looks like, and you can actually start from that and start collecting evidence, collecting that, and you build your own by doing things,
Right.
learning from examples.
Yeah. So, and if it's business, you've there are books, autobiographies you can read about
Mm-hmm.
people that are similar or have a similar business or gone through something similar, whatever it is that you connect with.
Right.
So there are always, if you don't have the creativity or imagination to imagine it yourself, you can get that information from somewhere. So I
Yeah.
think we would both agree that you can find an image of this of success for whatever it is you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of keep that in the front of your mind when you're going through it.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I've told Hiroko a story about, she's a relationship coach, marriage, dating. Let's date first, then get married. Um, and I was telling her the story basically of how my first date with my husband, um, and this is also about letting go. Before meeting him, see, I actually met him on Saturday. Friday night, I sort of ended something that I knew wasn't really working. It was just something to do.
Mm-hmm.
I met him on the train Saturday night. which is a whole nother story, which I'm not getting into. Um, it's a funny story. Anyway, and on the following Tuesday, we had our first date. And when I went to the date, I hadn't planned on interviewing him, but apparently I did. So I had this whole list of things that I just went through. So I was 39, almost, just a few months before my 40th birthday, and I'd gone through stuff and nothing was working out. And so I guess that's why I cut to the chase and said, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about children? How do you feel about monogamy? How do you feel about this? Traveling? How do you feel? Apparently I went through a whole list of things. As I said, I didn't plan on it, but it worked out really well. Um, and then we finished. It was like, okay, so we have enough in common. We have enough. Our goals are similar. We've had similar experiences. We like some of the same things. And then we were able to go to the next step from there. So that's, with letting go, it can happen immediately. You know what they say, when one door closes, another one opens.
Yep.
You leave one room, you're going to walk right into another one. So be open for that and be ready for whatever's going to come when you let that thing go.
Expectations like, oh, on the first day I'm not supposed to do that, and I'm not supposed to do this, and then dating and love and stuff like that. I do dating coaching, but I'm a relationship coach also. So like, I'm not coaching only for the dating. You're dating to actually find the match. That's what I'm focusing on, right? So it's not about how you look, or you have to lose weight in certain looks, or you have to wear certain clothing to impress the guy, or you have to say these sexy lines in a certain time in the perfect moment, or you have to memorize this. And it's not about that at all. They have this like lots of like expectations or image about love and relationship and dating coming from magazine or movies or something like that. But it's not something grand. It's about, sometimes it's not sexy at all. At all, because you are exposing yourself. This is what I want. If you want the same thing, awesome. If not, all right, we can stay friends or goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, it's not something grand or sexy, and because, right, if the guy is handsome and tall and so dreamy, that, but if he's not the right guy, he's not the right guy. It's, if he's not like, he's not the type of guy who likes to hang out with the children, then he's not gonna be a good father. If he's a party guy and he wants to stay up late at night and go into the bar at night, he's not a good person to be with if you don't, if you want a family. Because, so it's not about going out in the city and he's gonna treat you nicely, like treat you in a expensive restaurants or anything like that. It's about you are finding the right person with the core values really the same. It's not, or you're finding the right, like, who can talk to as a friend. So there's no like tricks or tips and tricks and all those things you read on magazine or whatever. It's not that at all,
Right.
And
It's really, like you said, it's about the values.
yeah.
And if your values align, and that's the same thing when I'm working with entrepreneur parents, I'm talking about their personal values and their business values, and they need to be aligned as well. So the whole thing is about having aligned values, because that's how you're going to create the successes. whether it's a successful relationship or a successful
Mm-hmm.
business or a successful family, is because bottom line, no matter what else happens, your values are in alignment.
Right. So like business success in business also, when you see lots of successful people, it looks like they succeed overnight and in a way that's really cool, right? um, Whatever, like online marketing or whatever, like something cool there, and then they talk in YouTube video like flawlessly, and they have video crews and all that. It's cool, and they think that wow, that's how they succeeded. But I really think how they did it is just like they probably had really ugly side of it too, because they had lots of failing, they had lots of bad sales talk, and then they failed, they embarrassed themselves, they missed the meeting or late for the meeting or whatever because they were so tired the day before, like something ugly, things like that, and then they just got over it, and then they just worked on it, and then they became successful. It's not overnight. And somebody says something like it took like how many years to become an overnight success,
Exactly.
right? It looks like it's overnight success. It's so cool. It takes about, but it's not. They don't talk about all those like ugly stuff and you know um, what they did and how miserable they felt, or they actually couldn't get out of the bed or something. They don't talk about that. I don't think they do.
Nobody wants to hear that part. They just want the
Maybe I
successful
want
part. They
to.
don't want to hear that. Right? Yeah. So, are there any questions for anybody out there?
Yeah, I'm just having fun talking to you. So I hope everybody's having fun just watching us talk. Or yeah, you can just send us questions. We can maybe talk about that.
So here's something. So you can send us questions here, and also, this is probably a surprise for Hiroko. We have a Facebook page,
Yay!
Kevin and Hiroko. Just type that in, Kevin and Hiroko, or Kevin ampersand Hiroko. You can leave us questions there. We are going to be back next week. Yay! Going to do this
Yay!
again. We're hoping you will join us. Tell your friends. Send in questions. Questions about what? Anything. Send us questions. We'll answer them. Whether they're
Yep.
relationship questions, whether they're business questions.
Yep.
The big thing that I think we both want to get across to our audience is letting it go. Because where you were is not going to be as great as where you're going. And know when it's that time to let go and do it. And just to be able to, if I could right now, I would just turn into Elsa and start singing "Let It Go," but I won't. But you can listen to that on your own, and if you really listen to the words to that, as I said, my clients are a lot of parents who have heard Frozen over and over and over again, and they just block it out. But if you actually listen to the words of that song, it's about letting go everything that keeps that character trapped in being who she isn't.
Yeah. It's a really good song. I
It's a
really like that
great song.
song. Oh
One
yeah.
of these days, I'm just going to do a whole thing about Disney princesses because I know there are people that do not like Disney princesses,
Hmm.
but each of those women, maybe not so much Snow White, but the rest of them really had something strong that they wanted to go after. They had faith in it. They challenged themselves and they achieved it. Cinderella looked at that palace for years and said, I want that palace.
Mm-hmm.
She got the palace, right? No judgments on, we're not talking about when we go after something, we're not concentrating necessarily on how we get it. It's really about, no, I'm going to leave that one alone. Come back to it later. I don't want to say it the wrong way. Um, but yes. So Elsa's a big one for me. I love that song almost as much
That
as
song,
Moana.
yeah, that song makes me cry. When in the sometimes like when I hear that song, like really listen to it at the right timing, that makes me cry.
Yep,
Yep.
it does.
Yep.
So we're about to wrap it up here.
All right.
Um, Hiroko, do you have anything else you want to add, or
Yeah, I
does
wanted to
anybody
say
out there want
hello,
to?
Marcella. Thank you for coming.
Hey,
Hey. And so letting things go is about like whatever that you need to let go, like expectations or how it looks like or how it should look like or what you should do, what you should not do. All those things. It depends on what you have to let go. And it will change. And if you don't know how to do that, how to identify what to let go or how to let go of that, you can reach me or Kevin to maybe we do the coaching. I actually offer a 30-minute complimentary session. So if you like to talk to me, you can reach me. You can just message me through Facebook, or if you know my email address, great. So we can do that, and probably Kevin has something to offer.
that would be the same. And I would say the key to this is yes, she may be relationship and dating. Yes, I may work with parent entrepreneurs, but don't worry about that because it's really the same thing. So if you connect to either one of us, that's all that matters. And the same for me. I would love to get on the phone, chat with you. You can private message me. You can leave us a message on our Facebook page, Kevin and
Mm-hmm.
Hiroko, um, or just leave a message at the end of this, and we'll get back to you and set up something.
Definitely.
Because we're here, we're both passionate about having people live their best life as their best self, and to have people around them that are the best for them.
Right.
It sounds like a lot. It can happen. It does happen. That's kind of how this happened. We did not know each other, 3 months ago? And we only knew each other through Facebook posts
I know.
and videos. And it was like, I felt this was somebody that I can work with to get my message across. And I said, we need to, and also realizing that she was in New York too. We've never met in person.
Nope.
Just to put that. And we've been in the same areas close enough that we could. And one of these days we will. And we'll actually sit down side by side and do this.
We should do that. We should definitely do that. Instead of like a split screen, we should be
Yeah.
the same screen and do it.
But you got to start somewhere. So, it's just, you've got to start somewhere. And we did. And this has been great. I want to thank you for saying yes. And I'm looking forward to where we're going to go with this. But it's been a lot of great fun. Thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you.
And as I said, we will be back next week, same time, same place. Feel free to go over and like us on our fan page, Kevin and Hiroko. We may just do cable after this. Who knows?
Maybe
we're going to travel
have, like,
everywhere.
a radio show or something. You never know.
You never know. And if you have something you want to share with us and we can add you onto this, we'll do that as well. So once again, thank you. Feel free to share this with your friends. Please send us some likes and some hearts and all that sort of fun stuff. Yay, thank you.
Yeah, just do that right now. Like, give us
get
some
lots of
love.
hearts. Just give us as much love as you possibly can right now.
There you go. Yay.
Yay. Thank you. And just, I guess, before we go, can we get because we're here in New York, and we know you guys are all over the country. If you could just type in where you are right now, that would be great. And then we'll let you go back to your day and maybe make some changes coming up. The last thing I will say is when you are done with this call, this live thing, Jersey City, yay.
Yay.
Um,
Rosita, thank you for coming.
I want you to take something that you've learned from what we've spoke about here and act on it. So within the next hour, just if it's do something new, there you go, that's your challenge. Do something new. Do something in a way that's different than you've ever done it before, or just do something new. And send us a little comment later on as how that went for you.
Right.
Okay?
Awesome.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. And I will see you next week.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.